So let us continue to fight with optimism, with faith, and with hope, because when we fight, we win.
Vice President Kamala Harris makes a stop in Indianapolis as she pushes to become the Democratic nominee for President of the United States.
6 children and 2 adults hurt after a car ran a red light and smashed into an SUV. Police say the driver of that car was under the influence, and tonight we're learning more about him. But we start first here at 6 o'clock with a visit to Indianapolis for Vice President Kamala Harris. She spoke at the Indiana Convention Center today.
Yeah, Harris delivered what sounded more like a campaign speech to thousands of members of the Zeta Phi Beta sorority and set the tone for what is looking like a definitive presidential campaign. Thunderous cheers as Vice President Kamala Harris appeared on the stage at the Indiana Convention Center.
Well, let me tell you something. When I am president of the United States,
Harris minced no words, laying out her goal and how she sees herself in the future.
in this moment, I believe we face a choice between 2 different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, the other focused on the past.
Vice President Harris scheduled this appearance long before President Joe Biden announced that he was withdrawing from the 2024 presidential race. She used the opportunity to speak to thousands. She chose to highlight the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration while laying out her platform.
Ours is a vision of a future in which we realize the promise of America. And I deeply believe in the promise of America. A promise of freedom, opportunity, and justice. Not for some, but for all.
Additionally, Harris expressed the need for affordable health care for all, an effort to make sure no child grows up in poverty. The vice president pushed the notion of an economy working for working people, the reason she says the Biden-Harris administration forgave billions of dollars in student loan debt.
So I say, as we work to build a brighter future and to move our nation forward, we must also recognize there are those who are trying to take us backward.
Harris also warned about Project 2025, the conservative roadmap if the GOP wins the White House. She says the 900-plus page document outlines an assault on freedoms, including voting rights and civil rights.
This represents an outright attack on our children, our families, and our future. These extremists want to take us back, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
Harris stood at the podium for about 15 minutes and ended her remarks with a call to action in 3 words: to energize, organize, and mobilize. She urged those in her audience to get people in their circles to register to vote and to make sure they get to the polls.
People gathered outside of the Indiana Convention Center during Vice President Harris's speech to Zeta Phi Beta's Grand Boulé. WRTV's Meredith Hackler learned why they were motivated to show their support in person and what they want from the next president.
Vice President Kamala Harris's visit to Indianapolis brought Hoosiers to the street to show their support. Some telling me it's a moment in history they didn't want to miss.
She's a woman, and she's a black woman, so it's history, both history, woman and black woman. I brought my daughter to let her know that women can do any and everything, and we can run America.
Charlie Johnson was one of a few dozen people who made time to see the vice president's motorcade. The Indianapolis native says she hopes if the vice president is elected, it can bring everyone together.
Stop the violence, first and foremost. I'm tired of the killing. It's horrible. I just want everybody to come together. I want peace. A whole lot. Like, that's major to me.
Others who are visiting town call it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Not just us here, but several others from the community and as well as organizations coming out to show their support. I think it's really awesome.
It's nice to have that unity again, or that feeling of unity.
Advocacy groups turned out. Planned Parenthood, Indiana Conservation Voters, and the Indiana Muslim Network joined the crowd. They hope she will tackle their issues.
We're hoping that Her climate agenda will expand on the landmark Inflation Reduction Act.
We hope that she calls for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, as well as sends ample amounts of aid to the people who are suffering there.
Since President Joe Biden has dropped out of the 2024 presidential race, Vice President Kamala Harris is the presumptive candidate for the Democratic ticket. All of the delegates here in Indiana have pledged their support to the vice president. They will cast their ballots at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next month. In Indianapolis, Meredith Hackler, WRTV.
The Indiana GOP sent out a statement in response to the vice president's visit. It says, in part, Hoosiers know that a Harris presidency would be more radical than the last 4 years have been. Biden was supposed to be a reasonable Democrat. Imagine what Kamala would be like.
Former President Donald Trump's vice president pick, J.D. Vance, is in Fort Wayne tonight. Vance is at a fundraising reception where supporters had to make a $1,000 contribution to Trump's fundraising committee to get in. Vance is a U.S. Senator from Ohio. He also wrote a book called Hillbilly Elegy, which talks about his upbringing in Kentucky and Ohio. The book was adapted into a 2020 Netflix film. Donald Trump actually has a rally happening right now in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a live look there that we're bringing you. It's his second rally since the assassination attempt on him earlier this month in Pennsylvania. North Carolina is a swing state that Republicans and Democrats both need. And tonight, Trump is expected to turn his full focus on Vice President Harris.
Tonight, President Joe Biden will address the nation. It is the first time he will talk directly to Americans about his decision to end his re-election campaign. President Biden, the decision is tonight at 8 o'clock on WRTV.